It is very common to hear you cannot have privacy if you use Android. You won't have security if you use Android. You can't get upgrades if you use Android. You won't have a good user experience if you use Android. You can't be one of the cool kids if you use Android. Okay, so that last one might be a bit of an exaggeration. But that aside, these are all shockingly common sentiments you hear not only from tech enthusiasts, but also from people who write about this stuff for a living. And my groupmates and I are here to tell you they are all equally misguided. In today's society, our mobile devices have become the core of all technologically accessible online. Android and iOS are mobile operating systems that are mainly used in smartphones and tablets. However, both of the operating systems have differences in their own specifications.
And iOS creates both hardware and software components. This will enable it to tightly integrate both of them to create a smooth user experience, which will remain well for 3 to 5 years on average. Hence, the usage of using available resources will be lesser compared to Android, resulting in a smaller capacity battery that lasts the same time as an Android phone with a bigger battery. The Android is a fragmented OS which can make its development very difficult, while iOS is consistent on every device and can be easily updated. As a result, an iOS device would still work whenever occasional bugs appear as before, even if a restart is needed. This also happens because the applications on iOS are not accessible to OS directly, unlike Android. When compared to Android, the iOS security structure is more restricted. iOS is a closed system that allows developers to create their apps but does not share the source code, making it more difficult for hackers to develop exploits, whereas Android is the polar opposite. Because of its integrated design, iOS has fewer security flaws than Android. However, both iOS and Android have comparable built-in features including virtual sandboxes, which minimize the damage that malware apps can do. Based on the comparison, Android is more susceptible to security breaches and malware attacks.
Android has mature design while iOS has human interface guidelines. iOS is based on 3 main principles, which is deference, clarity, and depth. Android's design is based on observations of the real world. An intuitive UI can be created with realistic shadows, light, motion, and layers division. Android's font is called Roboto, which has taller letter forms and more breathing room. iOS system font is called San Francisco and can be read easily at small sizes. In iOS, primary navigation is shown via 2 to 5 icons arranged horizontally across the bottom of the screen. In Android, it is spread across the interface. It is often between hamburger button, search bar, or the floating action button.
Android applications offer more customizability and flexibility than iOS. In terms of user interfaces, the Android mobile operating system provides users with more customizable interfaces that are simple to use, manage, and control compared to iOS and other closed-source mobile operating systems. The range of customization for Android is highly customizable as opposed to iOS, which is highly limited unless it is jailbroken. This will allow any user to use fonts and icons of their choices and add any custom widgets as well as shortcuts.
The main difference between Android and iOS is that Android is developed by Google, while iOS is developed by Apple Incorporation. Android is based on Linux kernel, while iOS is a Unix-like operating system. Android was developed using C, Java, and C++. iOS is written in C, C++, Objective-C, and assembly language. Android uses touch inputs that relate to the real-world actions, like swiping, tapping, pinching, and reverse pinching to manipulate on-screen objects and a virtual keyboard. iOS includes gestures such as swipe, tap, pinch, and reverse pinch, which have specific definition within the context of the iOS and its multi-touch interface. Android has the largest install base, then iOS comes in second.
The closed-source framework of iOS makes a tighter integration that does not require high specification of iOS devices, as it all comes down to hardware and software optimization. iOS can ensure that resources are used more efficiently since it controls production from beginning to end. iOS is twice as memory efficient as Android because iOS devices run better than Android with double their random access memory. This occurs because most Android applications use Java, which requires additional RAM to do garbage collection. So what is a garbage collection? It is a process that causes memory to be recycled once an Android application has finished utilizing it. The performance will be affected when a lot of different applications are running with no free spaces in RAM left. As a result, Android devices will need to have twice as much RAM to run applications as iOS devices do, since their garbage collection process requires 4 to 8 times the amount of memory it needed. However, because iOS was built to avoid this problem, it does not require additional memory and only requires the RAM it now has.
The benefits of Android include the ability to install apps that are not available in the Google Play Store, but iOS will have limited choices of applications because of its closed source. Plus, Android provides various range of device price according to users' budget, as they are simple to use as opposed to iOS devices.
The advantages of iOS are it has a simple interface that are easy and comfortable to use, while the disadvantages is it is quite expensive compared to Android.
So, after going through their differences, it is evident that neither operating system is better than the other, since they each have strengths and weaknesses. Choosing between the two operating systems is mostly subjective and wholly dependent on the requirements and preferences of the user. That is all from us. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like.